mental prison, something that has always been dictating our lives, how we are going to live and how we feel about ourselves, is mental prison. And today we are going to talk about mental prison in a very detailed manner, how this mental prison is being formed, the psychology behind it, the biology behind it, and understanding, I have always felt this thing in my head that whenever you have some problem in your life, the most prominent thing, the most relevant thing to do is to understand the problem, understand the cause of the problem, understand the trigger of the problem, and understand why this situation has been created. It actually helps you in understanding it and in overcoming the situation in a great way. So similarly, we are going to do the same. We are going to dissect this entire mental prison thing today. So let's get started. What is mental prison to start with? Mental prison is something, some kind of belief system or some kind of limitation that you have in your mind, where no matter what you do, you cannot come out of that belief. So let's say a kid was being chased by a dog when he was 7 years old. Then the kid will be afraid of dogs until he was 17, and until he is 17 he is 27, until he dies he will be afraid of dogs. Similarly, when a kid is having a dog as pet, same 7-year-old kid and like a different 7-year-old kid, that kid actually loves dogs, and that kid will grow up to be a dog lover, to be a pet lover. So similarly, this is just an example. The things that we go through in our lives is going to dictate our future and our present. So any belief system that is being formed around this, any strong limitation or the prison that is being formed, is what mental prison actually is. But this influence of mental prison actually goes to every aspect of your life. This mental prison affects every aspect of your life. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, this is going to dictate your life if you're not aware of this and if you're not constantly taking steps to get out of this prison. So let's see now, now we know what is mental prison. Let's see how this mental prison is being formed. When we look at the psychology of this mental prison, let's see mental prison as a set of belief system. Okay, any belief system that is being formed has its roots on experiences. So any experience that we have in our lives has an impact in our mind and in our body, and it is being stored by the mind and body. That is as simple as that. So any experiences that we go through, it is all being stored in our memories, and also the related feelings. Experience also relates the feelings at that particular moment. Those feelings are also being stored in our minds and in our bodies. So the more this is stagnant, the more this gets stronger, the more this is being added, it forms a belief system. It forms a rigid block which is there in our head. We feel like it is impossible to get out of that. So what happens here is that whenever you experience something, your brain just sees it. Okay, your brain analyzes how it feels when you are experiencing something, especially when you are experiencing something really bad. Your brain labels that experience as a bad experience, and it also snapshots the feeling that your body feels at that particular moment. Now what happens is, this brain forms its own neural network, because we know that there are a lot of neurons present in our brain and in our spinal cord. So what happens is, this neural network, the more you experience something, it forms a very strong network. So it is very instantly happening in your brain, that after a point of time, when this neural network has been strengthened and it is being formed, what happens is, it is very easy for you to feel the same things that you felt in the past without even having the same external scenarios. Let's say a person has a very bad experience with red colored cars. Okay, so your brain has this, a person has always, because of the trauma that been, in that person's mind because of the red colored cars, there is a very strong neural network that has been formed. So no matter when that person sees a red colored car, it might not be the same situation, nothing might have happened to them, they might be ultimately safe, but their body feels the same way that they felt during that bad experience. Okay, so that is because of the neural network that is being formed by our brains. So then you will be like, then how to come out of this? If it is something that is happening inside, then how can we control it? We cannot control it, of course, that happens, but what we can do is to understand why it happens. Why are these neural networks formed? These neural networks are formed in response to safeguard ourselves. So basically that is just a defense mechanism of our body, so that we don't get into that same experiences or same scenarios which made us feel bad, which gave us a lot of trauma. So it is just a defense mechanism that our body has developed through evolution of, through years of evolution. So this thing is actually inherently is not bad, because if we had this 2000 years back when we were forced to safeguard ourselves from wild animals and all the external factors, this neural patterns is actually important for us to safeguard ourselves and our families from the external factors. But now it is not the same scenario, right? So but we have the same body, we have the same genetic material, we have the same neural patterns, same DNA. So we have this capability of developing this neural pattern in response to safeguard ourselves. Now you have experienced something in your life and that is gone, but it is stored as neural patterns in your body, and because of a very small external trigger, you will feel the same exact thing that you felt during that point of time in your life. So now let's put it this way, that whenever you see a trigger, this network of neurons gets fired and wired instantly, so that you feel the exact same feeling in your body. This happens when your brain or your eyes sees the trigger, and it passes the information to your brain, and that brain just alerts our entire body saying that it is in danger because of this trigger, and our body starts producing cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and we feel stressed, or all the anxiety and everything because of the hormones that is being produced. Now this is because of the brain. But there is another interesting thing in this neural pattern formation. Our heart also has neurons. So our heart actually stores memories. So this might be very new, but that is true. Our heart actually stores the feelings that it has. So what happens now is, out of nowhere, not because of any external trigger, you might be ultimately fine, but out of nowhere your body might feel anxious, or your body might start feeling something which is very random. Now what happens is, this body sends signal to the brain that it is feeling not okay, and in response what this brain does is, it takes an event from your past where you felt anxious, or any emotion that you feel right now, and it plays in your mind. Okay, so it is like, okay, now your brain responds to your body that, okay, now you feel anxious, so what I'll do is I'll take an event from your memory file and I'll play it so that you keep feeling whatever you feel. That is how interlinked this brain and this body is. When we listen and when we hear this will feel like, how stupid is this body? But it is actually not stupid. It is because of the, as I said, because of the survival mechanisms of our body, which we have developed through years of evolution. It is what it is. It is there. But the other thing, the most important thing is, how do we get out of this? How do we handle this? How do we deal with this? So when dealing with this mental prison comes, there is no actual single solution towards it, because every person has their own, set of memories, own set of emotions, own set of neural patterns. It is very, very personal to that person. So some people might feel better, and some people might actually get better, like improve their mental health, can come out of this mental prison when they go for therapy. It might actually help them, but some people might not find therapy useful or helpful. But to those people, being mindful and doing a lot of meditation might help. Like doing yoga might help, or going to gym and understanding all their emotions might help. So every person has their own their own way of coping up. But I would give you one thing that actually helped me, and it actually helps a lot of people. So it is consciousness. This might go into spirituality, but I don't want to get into spirituality now. But when you think of consciousness is the cure. Consciousness is the cure for a lot of things in this world, but we are not aware of it. We are not taught about spirituality and consciousness in our schools, because I don't know, maybe we humans find it more, like find science and maths more important than spirituality. Of course, science and maths are needed for us to live, but consciousness actually helps you with coming out of your mental prison. And not just your mental prison, you can actually just be a different version of yourself, a true new version of yourself. It is not at all egoic, because I have seen a lot of people who are like, okay, now I'm different, now things have changed, now I'm different, I'm doing a lot of things, so I am a changed person. See, a changed person never actually tells themselves that they have changed. A changed person is a changed person. They don't have to reinforce themselves that they have changed, or they don't have to reinforce that to anybody else. So when you get into this thing of being more conscious, meditating and doing a lot of things which is related to consciousness, you will understand the intricate meanings of this human functioning and mechanism of this human mind. So of course this being more conscious, being more mindful will help. But what will not help is using ego to come out of that mental prison. Some people will be like, okay, I was that in my past, now I'm not that anymore, I'm totally different, I'm a totally different human being, I'm this now. So what you're doing essentially is you are getting out of one prison and you're moving into another prison. That is simply what is happening. So you're just trying to not feel bad of the things that has happened, or because you are not able to process the presence of mental prison. That is true, that I do understand why people feel it, but if you are getting out of that mental prison and you are becoming another person where you are like, no, I'm not that, I'm this, I am this, I am this, that is also a reinforcement to yourself that you are into a new prison. That is not the prison I was anymore, but I'm into a new prison. This prison is actually very comfortable, man. This prison is actually great, but it is a prison. Invariably it is a prison. You cannot deny the fact that it is a prison. So being mindful about it, and actually witnessing and handling this with a lot of kindness, and being kind to yourself, and understanding this in the right way, coming out of this prison and coming out of any prison that you have in your mind is the solution. And not getting into any other prison is the final decision that you have to take in your life, because once you do it, you will be a person who understands other people in a better way, in a very clear manner. Like you will be like, you won't judge people for the way they are, because when you are out of a prison and when you are free, and when you see people, you will be like, okay, this person is behaving this way because of the prison that they are in, because of the mental belief system that they have built about themselves because of the experiences that they had in the past, that is when you will start being kind to people. Because every human being is same, but it is just the experiences that they have is going to define their own behavior, right? So our goal is to come out of any prison that we have, any mental prison that we have, and not to get into any other prison. So meditation of course helps. Meditate a lot, be mindful about this, and I hope everybody come out of this and just start loving life, start loving yourself more. I'll see you guys in the next video.